Okay, here we are. We are in Ruston Martin, and this is where the fun really begins. You know, downtown we talked about the floors and the ceiling and really what kind of makes the bones of the room. For this event tonight, I get to go shopping in my own store. So, you know, that may sound kind of easy, but very honestly, it's a very difficult thing to do. We have so much product here that sometimes it makes it overwhelming, and believe it or not, even for us. So what do we start with? We always start with our roadmap. And our roadmap is that floor plan that I showed you downtown. I kind of have an idea of what the customer likes. I think it needs to be a little more masculine in flavor. I think a little richer tones. You saw the tones that are down there are pretty monochromatic, so I want to kind of pop it up with a little bit of color. And I think the best place to start is probably with an area rug. So we're going to go shopping in my own store, and the fun part's going to be I get to pick out my own stuff. Doesn't cost me anything. Let's go take a look. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah, I think this would be a perfect rug. Now remember, I wanted a rug about 8 feet by 10 feet in size, and this one fits that criteria. I really wanted to kick that room up with color. It's pretty neutralized down there with the slate floor and the wood, so I think we need some color, and I love this rug. Come on down here, let's take a look at these colors. The paprika, and I know what you guys are thinking right now. How in the world do you start out and just do this? Well, if I was working with you in your home, we would do the same process I just did, and you probably would find that one rug or that one color or that one fabric that you just love. I always tell everybody, give me just one thing, and we'll take your entire room from that point. You're going to get to see that happen, so we can bring all of this together. The paprika in the rug is terrific. I think that's going to add a nice shot of color. And what I love also is this chocolate brown, and I'm kind of thinking about leather, and you can actually see that behind us. We've got some leather that's really going to work pretty nicely, but that chocolate brown is great. The gold here is going to pick up the wall color that you saw in the crackalato. So I think this rug, taking all these colors together, is going to be absolutely perfect. Let's talk about color schemes for just a minute. A lot of you will look at this and go, well, guys, it's got blue and it's got green and it's got all that. That starts to be confusing to you. Just because a fabric or a rug has additional accent colors with it does not mean that has to become a primary color in your room. It's not something that you have to worry about. This is where people get kind of all crazy and freaky on the details. I will show you how we will take a sofa, put it on here. It won't have any blue in it, and it won't have any green in it like you see right here, but you will see how this row will actually blend and make a better color scheme. Color schemes are not math problems, and this is what's hard for people. It's, you know, if 1 and 1 and 1 does equal 3 in math, not necessarily in the design world. We tend to look at an overall color scheme, and that becomes our roadmap. And it's not something that just occurs because of science. It occurs because when you see it put together, these colors are going to blend and make it interesting. Remember this. Think in ranges of 4s. You know, a primary color for the room. Okay, you want to then have a secondary good accent, and it's usually a complementary color. Think of when you were in grade school, that color wheel that you had, all right, and it has red, blues, yellow, greens, and all that. Complementary colors are colors across from each other. Best complementary color scheme I can think of is Christmas, red and green. Those are complementary colors. They go perfectly together. So when you do that, you want to pick your primary color out first, pick a secondary color out, usually a complementary, and from that on, it's accent colors from that point, okay? So here's the hard part now. I've got to find a sofa to go with this, and that's what we're going to do next. Let's go take a look. Look at this, I found my sofa. You know, look how great this is. I could just take a little nappy right now. I got too much work to do. Anyway, this is a great sofa. I'll tell you why I loved it. Looked around, my gosh, we got 200 or 300 different sofas in this store, and you know we can special order anything in the world at Ruston Martin. Anyway, fits my floor plan. Remember downtown I said I wanted to have something that has a little bit of height to it and some bulk to it. I want to keep this room a little bit masculine. What I love about this sofa is, and it goes with the rug because it pulls the red tones in, it's got the chocolate around the outside, a little chocolate leather welt here. You may not be able to really see this, but it's got some green in here, and the red tone's going to pull out that paprika in the rug. I think it's going to be terrific. Yeah, I think it's going to be perfect. Now, what else I love? Let's just talk about pillows. You know, we see sofas all over the place that have pillows all over them, and sometimes you sit on them and you hit the pillows and you sit there like this, like you're in school and your mom's mad at you. That's not a comfortable sofa, and the reason it's not comfortable is because the pillows aren't made out of down. See this? I call them marshmallows. You can just sit on it and they just absolutely scrunch. So you take that pillow, you put it behind you, and when you sit in that sofa, the pillow melts all the way back, meaning that it really doesn't offer that much support. It just adds a little bit of comfort. So whenever you do a sofa, I suggest down pillows like this, and in this great with a little leather trim, and that's going to be fantastic with our rug. Leather is kind of an interesting thing to buy. You know, there's sofas in leather all over the world, starting probably about $599 and going all the way up to $10,000. What makes the difference in a sofa? The leather is a big criteria. You see this sofa, it's chocolate brown, and it's actually a pull-up leather. Now, what does that mean? Stay with me for just a minute because that's a little bit technical. When they tan leather, they extract all the natural oils out of the leather. They then tan it. And sometimes they put the oils back in, and sometimes they don't. Most of the time they don't. When they do, that's called a pull-up leather. Think of your bomber jackets or a saddle or something like that. You know how that leather feels? Has a little bit of that waxy feel to it, has a great hand. That's what this leather is. Now, wherever my leather samples are, I'm going to show you the differences. The difference is, this is leather. All of these are leather. And if you can get close to this right here, all right, and you see the sheen on that. They put the sheen on this leather from a style standpoint for one reason, but really the other reason is it corrects the grain. It makes it a better piece of leather. It doesn't change the way the underneath is, but it makes it to where it has a sheen to it and it has a little more protection to it. But what's the problem with it? It feels a little more plastic, a little more like vinyl. So this leather might be good for an office chair or something you want a little more traditional, but not so great for something you want to sit in every day. Here's another leather, flat finish, no sheen. You saw this one had sheen, and you see this one has a flat finish to it. All right, flat finish, no sheen. This is a corrected grain leather, literally meaning that they didn't like the quality of the leather, so they stamped an entire pattern on it. This is an inexpensive leather. And let me show you what we have here. And this is going to kind of freak you out. This is a pull-up leather. This is the leather that I said they would add the oil back in to the leather after the tanning process. Now, you see this color. This is going to be real important to watch. See this color? All right, stay right there. Watch this. Now I'm going to act like we've used this sofa for 3 to 4 different months. Are you ready for this? It's going to freak you out. Here it goes. Look what happened to the leather. What really happened there is I gravitated all of the oil out of different areas. Now, you say, oh my gosh, I'm not so sure I want a leather that has that kind of characteristics to it. Watch this. Look how it's changed again. I can continually take this leather and make changes with it. Now, you know why I love this leather? This leather is a leather that you would want with a family room. And I know you're saying, oh, I'm not sure that I want little Johnny getting up in my sofa and scratching it. Well, guess what? If he did it to this leather, it would never change. You would see that scratch forever. The same thing with this leather. When you do it to this leather, over time, and think of the bomber jackets that you have. You wore your bomber jacket and went outside and it rained, and it got raindrops on it, and guess what happened? About 3 to 4 weeks it gravitated away. Maybe your elbows got a little bit shiny on your bomber jacket. That's exactly what this leather is going to do. And over time, and I wish you could feel it. Well, you can kind of see it. It's almost like butter. It's the highest grade of leather there is. It's the softest leather, and that's what's on the sofa we're going to use downtown. So, let's go take a look at how it looks with the area rug, okay? Got to take my pillow because I don't really know. Okay, so now we've picked the leather sofa out that you saw that has these great cushions on it. That great little leather fringe that's kind of fun with it. And you're going to see, and I know a lot of people are going, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's going to put that together. Wait till you see the room finished. See the colors kind of pick up across from each other. I love the chocolate brown coming out of the rug. That's going to work with the leather that's sitting around the sofa. See how great that looks? You can just see it right here. See how wonderful that's going to be together? And the red tones are going to pull out and the gold tones are going to pull out. So what we've done is put our major pattern on the floor, our major color shots on the floor, and what we're doing now is accenting it backwards. Remember, when you do a room, you have to have one thing that everyone walks in the room and goes, oh, I see the way the room took direction. You know, I work with an awful lot of people to come in and help kind of fluff their houses up or freshen what they have. And I would say the biggest mistake I see are two things. Wrong room arrangement, which you know that we've done the right room arrangement because of our floor plan. And two, they try to put too many different types of patterns and fabrics together. So there's a real balance in having just enough and not enough. I say this to people, if I could take 10 people in your room and everybody turn and look at it at the same time, and if their eye went to the same point, then that room's done well. If your eye's being taken all over the room in different directions, then you really don't have a cohesive room and you've confused the person that's in there. So it's not real difficult. Nice rug, lots of pattern, lots of color. That's our beginning focus of this room. You saw the sofa that we picked, kind of a chocolate brown leather, simplified pattern on the pillows, and now we just start building it back from that point, okay? So guess what we get to do now? Have one more thing to pick out. It's a dining table. Oh, okay. I think this table is going to be perfect. This really wasn't very hard. I knew I wanted a round table. I knew I wanted a table that was not very large also, and this really fits the criteria. Since I'm kind of pulling this English look, or this little bit more of an old world look, I think this fits perfect. The size of the table is good, and I'm really not going to use all 6 chairs. I only want 4 chairs, so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I like round tables because they really facilitate conversation well. Nobody's sitting at the head table like you do at a rectangular one, and everybody kind of has an even stance here. The chairs are great. They're not too big. The table's not too big. It's all made out of walnut. I don't know. I don't think I can do any better than this. So I think we should do it. What do you think? All right. Well, let's see. Let's recap for a minute. I've got the area rug, I've got the sofa, I've got the table, and I really have a lot more things. I have accessories, I have pictures, I have all the stuff that's really kind of make it look cool. So I'm going to get the guys. I don't have to load it up. They're loading that stuff up right now. They're going to load up, put it in the truck, take it downtown, and we're going to start setting this place up. But before we do this, here's a tip from Rustin Martin.